The new Survivor is coming out this week, and we've had a reveal of what the hunter looks like. For more news like this, stick around for this week's episode of This Week in Identity 5. Welcome back everyone to another episode of This Week in Identity 5, where we talk about what happened in last week's update, what we can expect from this week's update, and some kind of rumors and leaks about what could come to the game relatively soon. Without further ado, let's talk about what we got last week, and we got quite a lot last week, especially very focused upon this Time of Reunion event that has been happening now for just over 2 weeks. With last week's update, we got the new event, the Time of Reunion Act 2. We had Act 1 the week before, and now we have Act 2. Act 2 brought along the new Survivor, where we got to see what she could do, but we had to theorize until kind of just at the end of last week where they revealed her abilities. We also got a really good look at the new map, because the new map was added as a game mode for this event. By participating in the event, you had to go and find a little girl who was running around the woods, and you needed as survivors to go and find the girl and escape with the girl. The hunter had to prevent you from doing this. There were different abilities that were given to the hunters for this game mode, and I think the map was slightly altered by adding some traps or something. I'm not sure if this is going to be something that's permanently added to the map in general, but they were added so that the survivors and hunters could notify each other where everyone was. Along with this Time of Reunion event, we also got the access to the second week or Act 2 from the event store, where you could now buy extra essences for this new essences coming out very soon, and you could also unlock a special spray for the Lost Girl. As I said last week, we also got a little bit of a reveal of what the Lost Girl's abilities are going to be, and I'm kind of a little bit worried about what this is going to mean for the game. I have talked about this in my streams. I'm a little bit worried about her power level and how this is going to affect meta compositions. Her abilities are connected to other survivors in the way that she can teleport to a survivor that she chooses, and then she can kind of join them and become like a spirit connected to them, and that will then boost their decoding speed by up by 70%, and also give them this ability to kite that will, if they drop a piece of paper on the ground, it will create a big explosion, pushing everyone in the area towards the outer edges of a circle that has her kind of floating next to them. It means that they can kite for longer and also decode faster. So this means that she has mobility, she has some kiting abilities, and she also has some decoding for assisting teammates. I feel like this is going to be a problem for some very strong team compositions, but we have yet to see how good she's going to be and if she's going to be a new type of meta for the game. Other things that we received last week: Wax Artist got added to Duo Hunters and Blackjack mode. I must say that he's a lot of fun to play in Duo Hunters. We also got a special package in the store where you could get 20 inspirations, 28 clues, and 20 fragments, I believe. It's again one of these things that packages that they add to the game that I'm not really sure who buys them. If you got this special package, then well done. Along with this, we also got a Miss Nightingale's Riddle event, where you could get up to 60%, depending on your luck, discount for some in-game items, for like some skins and some accessories, but I'm not sure if they were randomized per person or not. I believe that they were. So if you had some good stuff in your store and you did decide to get a discount, and you did decide to use your discount to be able to buy it with Echoes, then congratulations. There was nothing really that I was too interested in, but it's good that they gave a big discount, because that's a very big discount. Novelist got a couple of adjustments. Mostly he got a bit of a nerf for teams that play 4 or multiple novelists. If there are 2 or 3 or 4 novelists, the time it will take for you to be able to memorize, or how would you say, control the hunter to memorize the face, is increased from 8 seconds, that's the original base speed, to 16 if there are 2 novelists, 24 if there are 3 novelists, and 32 if there are 4 novelists. This means that if you have 4 novelists, it's going to take you 32 seconds to be able to memorize their face. There is a strong nerf towards people who play multiple novelists in a team that I think is completely warranted. Novelist had some other adjustments as well, where he cannot outline people who are in the photo world, and he can also not make people go into the photo world if he's controlling them. And he also cannot outline people who are interacting with lockers. He can also not control the hunter if they are interacting with the locker as well. Something that a lot of people probably didn't realize that was added to the settings, but might be a lifesaver for many players, is they added a new switch to prevent strangers from inviting you to matches. So not too long ago, they added a new option where you could get recommended players that you could add if you want to do customs, or if you wanted to go into quick match or rank or something like that, you could just see a recommended thing. I don't really understand how it was recommended or why they were recommended to you, but you could add these random people that you'd never met before and invite them. This meant that a lot of people were just getting spammed invites for no real reason, and it was kind of annoying. So they've just added a feature that you need to turn on because it's turned off by default in the settings that will block those types of strangers invites. There were quite a lot of bug fixes, and we can understand why, because Novelist was added, and I'm pretty sure that the game was completely broken last week. So what they did was that they have messed around with some of the things for Novelist, improved some of the problems that he had and some of the balancing issues that he had, because although Novelist wasn't able to interact with people when he's controlling them or interact with any windows or anything, he was able to vault Mad Eye's walls. Now that is not possible. One very welcomed change that's considered a bug fix by NetEase, but in my opinion is a buff, and it should have just been considered a adjustment to the character, was that Undead has now got the ability to completely eliminate someone on the ground instead of being someone being saved by borrowed time if they used it fast enough. So this means that if the survivor got over the kind of 3/4 way mark that Undead gives to a survivor when they're on the ground, technically survivors before could use borrowed time to give them that extra life as soon as they got hit. But now that is not a thing, and it shouldn't have been a thing from the beginning, in my opinion, because that gave people 4 hits, or technically 4 chairs. Moving on to what we can expect from this week's patch. We know that there are some things that are guaranteed, but what will the event itself bring along? We're not quite sure. The Time of Reunion Act 3 begins with whatever that entails. There's probably going to be a special game mode or storyline that we need to complete, possibly introducing us to what this new hunter is going to be. But we're also getting the new season's essence with the S tier skin for the Lost Girl that looks fantastic, an A tier skin for Toy Merchant, and also an A tier skin for the Evil Reptilian. I'm so glad they're giving Evil Reptilian another skin, and I'm gonna get it either way. I really need this skin because I love Evil Reptilian. As most of you know already, I used to be an Evil Reptilian main, so this is really good to give him a skin again, and this might spark that kind of interest for me to play him back again. I believe that also this week we are supposed to get the Darkwoods map, or whatever it's supposed to be called, the Forest of the Lost or something like that. We should be getting that this week as well. I'm not completely sure on this one, but I'm pretty sure I heard someone mention it, or I read it somewhere, but I couldn't find that information to completely guarantee that, but I believe that's coming soon. The Case Closed crossover is now coming to its end, so make sure that you use all of those inspirations if you really want to get one of those skins. Make sure that you open all the essences that you need to if you really needed that skin and you still haven't got it, because you are running out of time now. You've got less than 3 days. Connected to the Evil Reptilian thing, we've also got his character day coming up on the 13th of November. That is exciting. It means that they're going to have more of these quiz questions that they've introduced with the recent character days. With Act 3, we also have access to the 3rd week of the events shop from this event. And now we will be able to buy a mysterious emote that will probably be the Lost Girls emote, the mysterious standby motion that will probably be the Lost Girls standby motion, and a Plague Doctor spray, or whatever you want to call him. Some people call him the Crow Doctor. I want to call him the Plague Doctor because I'm not completely sure if he's supposed to be crow themed. That's just the usual mask that Plague Doctors use. And the mysterious S costume fragment that you'll be able to buy. That means technically now you will have 3 tokens, meaning that you'll be able to get the S tier skin for someone or something. Let's talk about some leaks and some rumors now. We have had the Hunter's model released and leaked. This is not something that NetEase has completely released themselves, but I don't really know where people got this this image from, but we know what he looks like already because of the loading in screen, but now we've had a little bit of a better look with a more 3D model of this character. He looks really, really exciting and a really edgy kind of character, so I'm really hoping that we get him soon because I really want to find out what he can do. We've also had a bit of a leak of tons and tons and tons of sprays and avatars that should be coming to the game. So the characters that haven't had their own kind of special sprays and special avatars will be getting them. For example, Undead, Naiad, all of those ones will be getting their own sprays and avatars, and that's super exciting. Along with sprays and avatars for the new hunter that's coming out, so we know more or less kind of what NetEase is going to be marketing him as, or what he looks like, I mean. We're also theorizing about what Act 4 could bring. My thoughts is that maybe this hunter is supposed to be the person who owns the manor, because on one of those sprays, it has the words contract underneath. So maybe he is maybe he is the one who maybe works for the leader and makes survivors and hunters sign a contract to be able to participate in the games, or maybe he himself is the person who owns the games. That would make sense, because finally we need to understand what's happening in the storyline, and it would be weird if they just introduced a random hunter to be able to hunt Orpheus and the little girl. So this might be who he is. He might just be the contractor or something like that, but yeah, it's very exciting. Moving on to the talk in the manor, where I respond to some of the comments that you guys left on my recent videos, and we'll see what I have to say about them. Grace Cake says, I can't pick up DBD since it's a bit too scary for me, which is why I like IDV and its cartoony nature. Yeah, I do think that DBD is very violent and kind of especially very graphic, and that's one of the reasons why I never picked up the game in the first place, because I didn't think I really wanted to play something that super gory. When I came across Identity 5, I was worried as well that it was going to be very gory, but found out that it wasn't at all, and it's kind of like a fashion show, yes? Blug comments, IDV community and DBD community are like black and white when it comes to other games like IDV or DBD. IDV players usually say, wow, this is neat, I love games like this. But DBD players are like, this is a copy, this is a cheap copy of this character or this character. And it's honestly really annoying, because a lot of them act like it's a completely fresh idea and no one has thought of a killer like that before. Yeah, I do think that we have a different perspective. For people who play IDV and then go to DBD, we do see similarities in characters, but we also like, oh, this is an interesting way of implementing it, or these graphics are really cool, or I really like this kind of style of gameplay. But DBD players are usually very set in their mindset, and they're like, oh, this game was just a copy, so we're only going to talk about how this character is really bad, and that this shouldn't be this way, this is really unfair, this is really unbalanced. I do think that DBD players are usually a little bit more set in their ways, but can we blame them? No, this is something that they've learned over time, and you know, slowly there are lots of characters and lots of players moving over to Identity 5, so hopefully people are going to enjoy that. Velvet Blue says, they say he is a great detective, and yet he's been kited by a little girl for 3 years. As I've talked about multiple times on stream, I don't really know what Orpheus has been doing for 3 years. Has he just been reading books for 3 years? He didn't explore the manor at all. He just spent his whole time in one room. He didn't check under his carpet. He just theorized that this girl was just going to magically appear and open the door one day. But yeah, apparently he just got a little bit bored and decided to go and check under the carpet after not having walked on it before. Who knows? Very interesting, I agree. What do you think the new hunter's abilities are going to be? Do you think that he is going to be the owner of this manor? And what do you think this contract thing is meant to mean? If you have any ideas, please tell me down in the comments below. And whilst you're down there, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe if you'd like to get some more news every single week, every single Tuesday about Identity 5. Have a great day, guys. Bye bye.